there is the crux of the whole case. That note from Dixon. Let us see. Dr. Dixon is, if I am informed correctly, of a fine and aristocratic family, though not wealthy. I believe it has been established that while he was an intern in the city hospital, he became acquainted with Vera Lytton after her divorce from the artist Thurston. Then comes his removal to Danbridge and his meeting and later his engagement with Miss Willard. On the whole, Walter, judging from the newspaper pictures, Alma Willard is quite the equal of Vera Lytton for looks, only of a different style of beauty. Oh well, we shall see. Vera decided to spend the spring and summer at Danbridge in the bungalow of her friend, Mrs. Boncour, the novelist. That's when things began to happen. Yes, I put in. When you come to know Danbridge after I did that summer when you were abroad, you'll understand too. Everybody knows everybody else's business. It is the main occupation of a certain set, and the per capita output of gossip is a record that would stagger the Census Bureau. Still, you can't get away from the note, Craig. There it is in Dixon's own handwriting, even if he does deny it. This will cure your headache, Dr. Dixon. That's a damning piece of evidence. Quite right, he agreed hastily. The note was queer, though, wasn't it? They found it crumpled up in the jar of ammonia. Oh, there are lots of problems the newspapers have failed to see the significance of, let alone trying to follow up. Our first visit in Danbridge was to the prosecuting attorney, whose office was not far from the station on the main street. Craig had wired him, and he had kindly waited to see us, for it was evident that Danbridge respected Senator Willard and everyone connected with him. Would it be too much to ask just to see that note that was found in the Boncour bungalow? Asked Craig. The prosecutor, an energetic young man, pulled out of a document case a crumpled note which had been pressed flat again. On it, in clear, deep black letters, were the words, just as reported. This will cure your headache, Dr. Dixon. How about the handwriting? Asked Kennedy. The lawyer pulled out a number of letters. I'm afraid they'll have to admit it, he said with reluctance, as if down in his heart he hated to prosecute Dixon. We have lots of these, and no handwriting expert could successfully deny the identity of the writing. He stowed away the letters without letting Kennedy get a hint as to their contents. Kennedy was examining the note carefully. May I count on having this note for further examination? Of course, always at such times, and under such conditions as you agree to? The attorney nodded. I am perfectly willing to do anything not illegal to accommodate the senator, he said. But, on the other hand, I'm here to do my duty for the state, cost whom it may. The Willard house was in a virtual stage of siege. Newspaper reporters from Boston and New York were actually encamped at every gate, terrible as an army, with cameras. It was with some difficulty that we got in, even though we were expected, for some of the more enterprising had already fooled the family by posing as officers of the law and messengers from Dr. Dixon. The house was a real old colonial mansion with tall white pillars, a door with a glittering brass knocker, which gleamed out severely at you as you approached through a hedge of faultlessly trimmed boxwoods. Senator, or rather former Senator, Willard met us in the library, and a moment later his daughter Alma joined him. She was tall like her father, a girl of poise and self-control. Yet even the schooling of 22 years in rigorous New England self-restraint could not hide the very human pallor of her face after the sleepless nights and nervous days since this trouble had broken on her placid existence. Yet there was a mark of strength and determination on her face that was fascinating. The man who would trifle with this girl, I felt, was playing fast and loose with her very life. I thought then, and I said to Kennedy afterward, if this Dr. Dixon is guilty, you have no right to hide it from that girl. Anything less than the truth will only blacken the hideousness of the crime that has already been committed. The senator greeted us gravely, and I could not but take it as a good omen when, in his pride of wealth and family and tradition, he laid bare everything to us, for the sake of Alma Willard. It was clear that in this family there was one word that stood above all others: duty. As we were about to leave after an interview barren of new facts, a young man was announced, Mr. Halsey Post. He bowed politely to us, but it was evident why he had called, as his eye followed Alma about the room. The son of the late Halsey Post of Post and Van Silver.